solos is kind of hard. I have one win.
Oh, gotcha.
I have an ungodly amount of hours, but I've got one. I usually play multiplayer. Do you just want to land super and send it?
Land where?
Super.
Alright, sure.
Alright,
Oh wait, dude, I think we kind of forgot about the actual project. I think we were supposed to be talking about video games and if they cause violence.
Yeah, I can do that. I've got all my stuff ready to go.
Alright, where do you sit on it? Do you...
Well, I absolutely believe video games do not cause violence.
Alright, cool. Same.
Nice, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
We're just screaming at each other.
Yeah, can you imagine? I quit, man. I don't care about the grade.
I'm done. You know what? I can't work with you anymore. Nicholas.
Macintosh just gets a text. I quit. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna read a quote then from my paper since I'm dead. Alright.
Okay, well, real fast. Let's just talk about exactly like what we're doing.
What do you mean?
So like this project of ours, right? So
Yeah.
we're taking the claim. Video games do not cause violence.
Yeah.
Here's why we believe that. Go.
Yeah. And I'm reading some quotes. Honestly, I'm not sure if they're pro or against, so we might have to defend against these quotes, or we'll go and be like, yeah!
You are the most prepared of everyone.
I know, right, bro?
Let's see
Alright.
what you got.
So, Christopher Ferguson, he's a PhD, he's an associate professor and chair psychology thing at Stetson University. Alright? Oh, and Patrick Markey, who's a PhD also at something other university. Stated the following in their February 16, 2018 article titled "Blaming Video Games for School Shootings in Misguided Dangerous," or something like that. Here goes.
Okay.
There is no clear evidence to support claims that video games cause societal aggression or violence. Not only is interest in violent video games rare among school shooters, these perpetrators, oh my gosh, that word's tough for me. These perpetrators express much less interest in violent medium than most other individuals. If you were to enter any school in America, you would find that about 70% of male students habitually, I don't know, they play it on a good amount of time.
Yeah, so a stat that I saw said that like 90% of kids who play video games often or regularly.
Yeah,
like
literally,
45% of adults.
Mm-hmm.
So
bro,
if
literally
they cause
70% play violent video games. We're not even talking about like people playing Madden and FIFA or whatever.
Oh yeah, we're not talking about Forza.
Like not video games in general, but like we're talking about violent video games. That's like obviously what they're keying towards. And bro,
that's why we're playing this game, right?
Yeah, I know. Honestly, we're showing that we're not violent.
Back. Get down here. Get over here.
Alright, where you Oh, I see you.
I'm on the ground.
Really? I thought you were in the air, dude.
Shush.
Bro,
I got a munitions box here. There's a gun.
Yes, a what?
Munitions box, ammo, grenades. There's also a gun right there. So yeah, back to what we were saying.
Yeah, so literally 70% play violent video games, and literally the people who are doing the school shootings and stuff like that, they don't play them. So like, why would this be the reason?
Yeah, so So the Columbine shooter was apparently an active video game player. So for a lot of people, they read that and were like, oh well, violent video games must
Yeah.
incite violence. But that was one case. That's not the norm.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You can't really like you see all these problems that are going on right now, like with the Black Lives Matters and the whole police thing and anything. It's like you can't take one person's like you go to feminism and all that. You can't take one person's actions and make that the reason you judge a whole.
Yo, therapy.
I need it.
All right. Okay, Dylan, you've been playing violent video games, right? Are you okay? Like, can I
No.
help you?
I have a. I'm feeling murder in my veins already. I got.
Let me pull up my notes. Let me see what goodies we've got in these notes. All right. So, all right. Here's kind of the 4 categories. Like, I kind of thought of. We don't have to stick to this strictly, but
What?
4 categories. What are we doing? That was kind of the intro. We already got that down. Stats. We can keep talking about stats.
Yeah, we have a few
After
different
that-
quotes. Like I have like 3 or 4 pages of just quotes.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Like we can go through a few of them or whatever. I'm not.
Yeah. So I guess I can roll to stats. How do you get out of this building? And then personal experience. And then we gotta connect this to the Bible, right? Because
Yeah, personal
This is
experience is
a
actually a really good one.
Oh,
I actually forgot about that. Because like gamers, they do have a stereotype that people give them, like for sure.
yeah.
Like whether it's fat dude playing video games eating cheeseburgers or what.
Solid copy. Bird is inbound for hash collection.
Yeah, he's like, these guys suck. Wow, why am I in here?
Maybe
Yeah, so-
maybe I should be using the key.
Personal experience, you said?
Yeah.
So like, how does
That's
that go? Like, say, yo, I'm a gamer and I have not been violent.
I mean,
Or like, how's
yeah,
this go?
yeah, pretty much. Skim over what I wrote down. Yeah, so personally, I've been playing for a long time. Not talking about Mario Kart here. So, when was like the first Call of Duty or that kind of game that you played?
Oh, bro. My first Call of Duty that I really got into was actually Call of Duty 2. That's how I grew up
Yeah.
off of games, bro.
Yeah.
My middle brother always gamed and stuff like that. Well, both my brothers did. But my middle brother's the one who always played first-person shooters. He ended up going Marine Corps too, so it's kind of interesting. But yeah. I actually played Call of Duty 2, Big Red one, and I never. The way I always looked at it, growing up, was its history. Cause like the first-person shooters I played were Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, those ones, off of the PS2, and with those, it gives you so much history, and like this is where our nation has come from, and this was World War II. This is what actually happened. This is what people had to go through. This is the sacrifice people let down for our country and for us to live good lives. And so like
Yeah.
with that, I'm like, it's just a disrespect if you don't like if you're saying that, oh hey, it's just bad to do that. That's like giving the whole military a bad rep. Like the things that they've done for our country, like you can't just do that.
Oh yeah.
Battle Royale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Gas
I
is
mean,
closing on your position.
maybe a taste of the kind of sacrifice that they go through. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, here's a quote from Steven Pinker, PhD from Harvard. Harvard, we're talking about. Smart guy.
Yeah.
or girl. I think it's a guy. And they say, because I'm saying they, I think that's a mutual noun, or I don't know if that's a noun, but whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They say, if consuming violent media made you violent, then we should prevent adults from reading the Old Testament even, together with Shakespearean tragedies and Godfather movies, and much else. So, like, that's really true. Like, where do you draw the line? Like, you can't just accuse one thing of being bad if, like, you're watching, like, straight up war films that are, like, dissecting people.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I actually had not thought of
Really?
that. Okay. Anyway, cold hard facts. Alright, so 65% of adults believe that video games contribute to gun violence. Is this your claim?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not... No, that's not true, right? Okay.
Yeah.
A recent study at Oxford. A recent study at Oxford researchers sampled over 1,000 teens. You heard it, 1,000.
Yeah.
And their teens and their parents and caregivers measuring youth aggressiveness based on which games youth played and for how long. The study concluded that playing violent video games does not have a measurable effect on aggressive behavior in real life. Yeah, despite interest in the topic by parents and policymakers, the research has not demonstrated that there is cause for concern. That's a quote from Andrew. I'm gonna botch this guy's last name.
Yeah, dude, did you hear me reading? Don't worry, you can't do much
Perzibilski.
worse. Yeah, you can't do worse than me reading.
This guy has a crazy sound. Perzibilski. Anyway, he's a PhD and director of research at Oxford.
I think I heard him say that's the way to say it, so you're good.
Yeah, me too. I'm pretty sure. I chatted with him once or twice.
Yeah, me and him used to be pretty good homies.
He's a man. Yeah,
Oh wait,
I'm
it's
sure.
my turn to read some stats. Alright, what do I got here?
Yo. I need bullets. I need ammunition.
Hey, here's another one from Christopher Ferguson.
Yo.
I'm a big fan of this guy, by the way.
Yeah. He's a real homie.
Alright, quite simply, the research just hasn't panned out for one thing. Even while video game sales have skyrocketed, youth violence plummeted to its lowest levels in 40 years according to government statistics. Secondly, it has been increasingly recognized that much of the early research on violent video game statistics... Wait. Hold on, I think I read the wrong line. Research on violent video games, linking them to increased aggression, was problematic. Most studies used outcome measures that had nothing to do with real-life aggression and failed to control carefully for other important variables, such as family violence, mental health issues, or even gender. In many studies, boys both play more violent video games and are more aggressive. More recent research has not found that children who play video games are more violent than other kids, nor harmed in any other identifiable fashion. A recent longitudinal study of my own following 165 10 to 14-year-olds. Sorry, those numbers mix me up. Over a 3-year period. Now impressed with Journal of Psychiatric Research finds no long-term link between them. So it's literally saying, like, the earlier studies that they had on this, literally just, they weren't according for the other variables that could have affected this. They're just like, oh hey, it's like saying, yo hey, if you drink soda then you're a killer, that kind of thing. It's like there's other variables within life. You can't just say that's that one thing that makes it happen.
Yeah.
They didn't account for gender, mental health, or whatever that other thing they said. Oh yeah, family abuse or whatever.
This is for a Bible class.
What?
So, this is for a Bible class.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring this back around. Alright. What does this mean to a Christian? How do we respond to this? What do we do?
How do we respond to what? Sorry.
How do we respond to, this research? Like, how do we react? What do we do now?
I don't know. Like, for me, I see it as just a stereotype thing. I see it as them just putting a category on us, saying that, oh hey, if you play violent video games, you're gonna be violent, that kind of thing. They just don't like video games in general, that kind of area. The people are saying this. I see it as the same thing as all that feminist movements and stuff like that. As feminist movements are like, okay, so there's one dude that's a complete jerk and gets called out on him and whatnot. He's gonna end up stereotyping the whole gender because of that. We look at the whole George Floyd incident with Black Lives Matter and all. Some cops messed up and did something that was wrong, and now all cops have to deal with that. You look at the riots that occurred after that and stuff like that. Look at all the cops that had to deal with that due to just some cops acting out. There's so much division within the world now, and I don't know if it's just the world, because like I live in America, obviously, and so it's a lot different here, and we have a lot of division now. Not trying to be like all against the government and whatnot either, but the government, it's proven in a lot of history that governments use fear to kind of manipulate people too, and with the
current talk about World War II, World War I.
Yeah, I know exactly. And you look at the current state of the news. Look at in social media and stuff like that. They can manipulate like the entire country with just stuff like that. That's why, like, because like if you look at facts, like if you look at facts down to the point of, is this person good? Is this person bad? Like, there's a lot of stuff that, like, look at the current election. Trump, he had so much against him within the media. And if you actually look at some of the stats and stuff, like, economically, he did drive us further in debt, which sucks. He also had the whole coronavirus thingamabob that handed a bunch of money out, so that kind of went against him. So, like, it's just like there's so much division towards, like, if someone posts, like, a few years back, there was a kid who got on an airplane and drove away, and then, like, jacked some car and drove away and whatnot, and it was bad. But then at the end of it all he did was blame GTA, Grand Theft Auto, the video game.
Wow.
And with that, it's like they publicize that obviously on the news, and stuff like that is what ruins it for a bunch of people. Little incidents like that.
What taints the reputation.
Exactly. And dang, I don't know what I was gonna say after that. Dang.
Let me quote some verses.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So I'm sure most people have heard, says all things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up. And that's something to keep in mind, like just because, you know, just because it's technically okay or passable doesn't mean it's the best thing to do. But consider 1 Corinthians 10:31, which is 8 verses later. It says, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all for the glory of God." So I think that where that leaves us is whether we play or whether we don't,
Yeah.
we're it's how you respond and how you act outside of that and in that. So what I'm saying is, like, obviously, I mean, like, yo, we're streamers now. We got the platform, right? But like bigger streamers, like if one of us made it or whatever, right? It's how you portray yourself and how, in turn, you portray the faith, right? So
Exactly.
it's not all about the game.
Yeah.
About ultimately about God.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's not like anyone's gonna force you to play the games. Like, I say it's up to you.
Right.
But I also gotta say, like, the way I'm a casual gamer. I love collecting games, playing games, sharing games, all that. And by sharing, I mean like, talking about having fun with people. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
some of my favorite franchise for games is a PlayStation exclusive called Uncharted, and that is literally like a modern Indiana Jones, honestly. Like, it's so good. I freaking love it. But the whole reason it's so good is because of the story. It's literally like you're playing a movie. You're literally in a movie. Same thing with the Modern Warfare campaign. It's literally like you're in a movie. It's insane. And with
bro,
that,
I'm just gonna say something. You're gonna have a lot of fun with that Cold War campaign.
great. We can't wait. I'm excited. But so with that whole point there of how it's practically a movie, it's literally the story that you're getting. Are you saying that movies are bad? Like, you can't just say it's just video games. Like, yeah, I get it. That's why they have ratings on movies and stuff. There's ratings on video games.
You know, I'll say this though. You know, video games aren't for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah, just like I said,
everybody
it's
should.
really on the person. It's based on the person. You really.
Yeah. But those of us who do, you know, we're not all bad people. Or most of my classmates would know me. If they know me, they, you know, I don't think most people would get the impression that I'm. Personally,
Yeah.
I don't see that. I mean, maybe you tell me, but but you know, not everybody who plays video games violence. You know, everybody who plays video games just wants to watch the world burn. There's those of us who just play to shrug off some stress. You know.